Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamlyn and this is Sewn on the Tyne, and I'm here today with a pretty impromptu video. Sam has just gone to pick Taylor up from nursery. It takes him about half an hour to get there and then obviously pick him up and then about half an hour to get back. And I thought, why not challenge myself and see if I can sew a cardigan in the time that Sam is out of the house picking Taylor up. So we shall see. In one of my last videos I was talking about my sewing plans for January and my 5-point planning system, and one of the points on my planning system was a quick win, and my quick win was the Helen's Closet Blackwood cardigan that I'm making in a black cable knit from First for Fabrics. So it was a quick win because I already had the pattern cut out at the correct size and it can pretty much all be sewn on the overlocker, so that's why it was a quick one. I got this cut out of the fabric on Saturday night when Sam was playing computer games with his friends online, and it's all ready to go. I've got the instructions brought up on my laptop, I've got my overlocker threaded with black thread, I've got my machine threaded with black thread. I just need to change my needle. I've got a fine universal needle in at the moment. I want to switch it out for a jersey needle because I'm sewing with a stretch fabric, and then we're going to pretty much see how much I can get done in the hour that Sam and Taylor are out of the house. And obviously I decided to film it, which adds more to my time, but never mind. I'm making version A of the pattern, which is the longer length cardigan. I, at this moment in time, have decided against adding the pockets. In the version that I wear all the time, the purple one, I do miss the fact that it doesn't have pockets. I do have enough fabric left to make pockets, but I'm just not absolutely sure. So I'm going to make the cardigan and then I can add the pockets on at a later date if I want to, because they're just patch pockets, so I can do that afterwards if I so desire. But I think I'm just going to make it without pockets to start off with. So I've turned my iron on, so that's all ready. The first step is going to be to sew the shoulder seams together. You can stabilise the shoulders if you want to. My fabric is quite a stable fabric, so I'm not going to do that. It's not like a really drapey, stretchy fabric. It's pretty stable, so I'm not going to stabilise my shoulder seams. I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to sew it straight on the overlocker. It's a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. On my overlocker I've used washi tape to mark out my different seam allowances, and I've just written on those with a Sharpie pen the different seam allowances, which really helps me. So yeah, I'm going to sew my shoulder seams together. So I think that's my spare fabric that's waiting to be a pocket. Got all my bits here. That's neckband. I've got my cuff. Right, pocket pattern pieces that I don't need right now. Sleeve I don't need right now. Let's find that's the hemband. Right, front pieces and then my back pieces. So I've still got the pattern paper attached to these pieces, so I just need to remove these. I've marked all my notches and things already, I believe. I do that at the point of cutting out, so it's always done when I take these bits off. So when it's a piece that you have to cut on the fold, I always use little clips to clip the fold, and then I use pins around the rest of it. And I always, whenever I cut a piece on the fold, snip into the fold at the top and the bottom. I always do that to mark the exact halfway point. Some patterns tell you to do that and some don't. I always do that as a matter of course. Right, so right, I've got my back. I'm going to attach at the shoulder seams, right sides together, my front, making sure I've got them on the right side so that the arm size match up. Just going to put a couple of clips in there. That's one done. And then the other one. If you're wondering what I'm wearing, this is the Nina Lee Mayfair dress. It's made in a Lady McElroy viscose jersey that I got from First for Fabrics a couple of years ago. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. Right. Oh dear, right. I have a cat down here. Let's think, am I going to move you? Because I think the overlock is going to make the table shake. Does this work? Sort of. Right. Overlocker is turned on. We are going to sew at 3/8. Let's find the foot pedal. So I've got the differential feed on my overlocker turned up a little bit higher than I usually do to try and prevent that waviness that you sometimes get. So I don't have that here, which is great. So I've got mine set at about a 1.5 on the dial on the side of the overlocker. Other overlockers might have it in a different place. Mine is the Brother Lock 3034DWT. Second shoulder seam done. Cool. Right, I'm going to bring you back to here. Just so I can read the next instruction. So I'm just going to go and press these towards the back, so press the shoulder seams towards the back, and then the next step is to insert the sleeves, and you do that on the flat and sew those basically. So I'm going to go and press these shoulder seams and then I'm going to start inserting the sleeves. Right, they're now pressed towards the back, so I need to insert the sleeves. So on the arm side, like the arm curve of the bodice pieces, you have a front notch, which is a single notch, and then a back notch, which is a double notch. If you use a different pattern company, perhaps one that is French, I used a French pattern company once and theirs were the other way around, so the double notch was on the front and the single notch was on the back, so just to be aware of that. But usually, the majority of the time, is single notch at the front, double notch at the back. When I came to cut out my Blackwood the other night, my sleeve pattern piece was cut at the shorten length and lines, and I don't remember why. I'm not sure if I shortened the sleeves last time. So what I've done is just cut them out at the full length. I just put the two bits of the pattern together to cut out my sleeves, and then I'm going to try it on, and if I need to cut any off the length I will at that point. So let's find my double notches. That's a single notch, that's a double notch, so I need the other one. Double notch, single notch, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip that so it's right sides together on my bodice pieces. Sorry, you can't see everything I'm doing because this is not a sew along or a tutorial as such. It's just me seeing if I can get this done within an hour. It's just a little challenge video, I hope that's alright. So I put one clip in the middle, so the shoulder seam to the centre of the sleeve, and then I put a clip at one end, and then I put a clip at the other end, so the very end there. Then I match the notches up, so I find my single notch and my single notch, and I match those up and put a clip there. I'm going to find my double notches, match those up and put a clip there. I prefer to use clips a lot of the time, but mainly when I'm using my overlocker because they're more visible and more prominent, and I remember to unclip them before my fabric goes through the overlocker, whereas with a pin they can be easily forgotten, and overlocker blades and pins do not agree. So they don't get on too well. Right. I'd like to wear this cardigan for work tomorrow if I get it done. Right, we are all clipped on one sleeve, so I'm going to sew this one and then I'll do the other sleeve after. Right, one sleeve done. So I'll give that a good press in a few moments. I'm just going to insert the other sleeve. Just to save a little bit of camera battery, I'm just going to pause you and then bring you back after I've sewn the other sleeve in. Bye. Right, the framing might have changed slightly because I've just moved you from one place to another, and I think you might be a little bit wonky, but maybe just turn your head so I'm straight. I've just pressed the shoulder seams towards the sleeves. Yeah, press that seam towards the sleeve just to show you my tailor's ham, which I think is pretty important when it comes to sewing because it gives you a nice curved surface, and a lot of the parts of a garment that you need to press are going to be fitted around a curved part of your body, like a shoulder, like a bust, that sort of thing. So a tailor's ham is quite important. This is a Prim one, which is really fantastic. Before this one I had one that I just bought on Amazon, and it was a bit thinner and it was great, it served its purpose, absolutely. But I do prefer this one. It's a bit more sturdy, it's a bit bigger, it's a bit more robust, and yeah, I enjoy using this one from Prim. I'll link it down below if I can find it online. So my next point is to sew up the side seams, so from the sleeves all the way to the underarms, all the way down to the hem. So I'm going to put my cardigan right sides together. To do this, I'm going to start by clipping my underarm seam and just lining those up, making sure that my seam that I've already sewn, both sides of that point towards the sleeve piece rather than the bodice piece, just so that that seam all the way around the shoulder is going in the same direction. Right, then I'm going to go to the very end of the sleeve and just clip it there, and then I think I'll just do one about halfway up the sleeve for now, and then I'm just going to come down, got my back and my front bodice piece, I'm going to just clip those together right at the bottom, and then I'm going to find a point, I don't know, about halfway up. This matches up really easily, like there's no easing to do. If you are pattern matching, obviously you need to be a bit more careful, but I am not, so this is quite a speedy task. Clip in there, clip in there. So I've clipped all the way down the sleeve, I've lined up under the armpit, and then I've clipped all the way down to the hem, and I'm going to sew this on my overlocker, and then I'm going to do the other side as well, and then I'll come back to you. You need to press the seam towards the back actually as well, and then try it on for fit. So at that point I'll get to see what the sleeves are like and if I want to take any off the length or anything like that. So yeah, I'm going to go and do this now and come back to you soon. Apologies for the terrible position and lighting. I'm also trying not to stand on a cat. But I've now sewn at the side seams. and press those towards the back. And then I've tried it on. Obviously there's still the neckband and the hemband and the cuffs to do, but can you see that the sleeves already come halfway down my hand, and that's before I put the cuff on. So I need to shorten these sleeves. I'm going to take some off the length of the sleeve before I attach the cuff. I'm thinking about 5 centimetres, I reckon, off each cuff. I'm going to do that before I attach the cuffs. I quite like that slouchy look where it does come over your hand a little bit, but they're already halfway down my hand, so the cuff, it's going to come right to the end of my fingers, and I don't want that. So I'm really happy with it. Other than that, goes with this dress actually. So I'm going to go and see what the next step is, but before I do that, I'm just going to use my rotary cutter on my cutting mat and take 5 centimetres off each sleeve. I realised that I didn't actually start a timer or anything, so I'm not specifically timing how long this is taking. However, it's 20 past 5 right now, and we're 25 past 5, and Sam phoned 5 minutes ago at 20 past 5 to say he'd just picked Taylor up. So that means I've got about another half hour, and he'd been about 35 minutes. So I think we're doing pretty well. So my next step is the cuffs. I've got my cuff pieces here. So I need to fold them right sides together. So we're going to create a tube, and I'm just going to clip that. And I do one at each end, and then I clip the notch as well. I'm going to do that with both cuff pieces like this, and now I'm just going to sew on my overlocker that seam there, and then I'm going to fold it so the wrong sides are together and the cuff is like half this depth but with the right sides facing out. I've got a Ziggy down here in the most awkward of places. I keep worrying I'm going to stand on her, bless her. So I'll move my chair leg onto her, which hopefully I won't. Right, get rid of that pattern piece. Cuff number 2. So if I'd sewn this on my sewing machine, I'd now go and press that open. It's not wavy or anything. I'm not even going to go and press that. I'm just going to fold it so the wrong sides are together. Sort of flatten out that seam a little bit. Check it all lines up. And there we go. Let's do the same on this one. And there we go. So now I need to attach these to my sleeves. I'm going to just line it up and check that I'm happy with that, and then I'm going to flip it back because my fabric has the cable knit on it and I want all the cable knit to face in the same direction. So I need to make sure that it's facing in the same direction like that, and then I'm going to flip the cuff back to sew it on. Just insert the sleeve into the cuff. So then when I flip it back down, the cable knit's going in the correct direction. I'm going to line up the seams, which is a bit of a bulky one, but it's fine. So I'm going to clip that one first. I'm going to clip it at the opposite side. And then I'm just going to stretch that cuff a little bit so that it matches up to the sleeve. Put a clip in there. Do the same around the other side. Put a clip in there. There we go. And while I'm here, I may as well do the other. And there we go. So I'm just going to use my overlocker to attach these cuffs. Actually, I'm going to empty my little overlocker bin. It was a little bit full. Oh, some people's overlockers don't have this little tray, and I don't know how you cope without it. Mine came with this, so it's really useful. A little sip of tea. Drinking jasmine green tea, and it's lovely. So I'm going to pop this on to my overlocker. Take one of the clips out so it sits nicely and I'm going to have my cuff facing up rather than down, if that makes sense. So I'm sewing from the outside. As I come to the clips, just unclip them. Honestly would recommend getting those clips if you haven't. I just got mine from Amazon. You can get them from most haberdasheries and things like that. Hi, you alright? 5? I've not finished my cardigan. Oh man. Okay. Whoa, I've massively, I don't know, underestimated, overestimated that time. Anyway, I've done one cuff. I need to press that seam because it does look a little bit wavy. But Sam wants me to go and run in my bath, so I'm going to go and do that. Start his bath running, then I'm going to come back and carry on. Sam said they'll be back in 5 minutes, but he will look after Taylor while I just finish this, which is lovely. It's definitely not been an hour. It's been 50, just under 50 minutes right now. So yeah, maybe an hour was a little bit ambitious. I'll be back soon. Right, I've started Sam's bath. The boys have just arrived home. I've just heard the door go. I am at the point now where my cardigan has cuffs, which is great. I'm just getting the hemband ready. Ziggy's just been lying on it, so it's all creased. So I just turned my cuffs inside out and I gave them a really good steamy press, and they've come up really nicely, taken any of that wave away, just with quite a lot of steam. So I'm really happy with it so far. My next step is, with wrong sides facing and matching notches, fold the bottom band of the cardigan in half lengthways and press. So that's basically this piece here. I'm going to fold it all in half and give it a little press, and then we're going to pin and sew that along the bottom of the cardigan body. Again, I'm going to make sure that my cable knit is all going to be running the same way. We're going to align the notches with the side seams, and then that seam's going to be pressed upwards. So I'm going to do that. I've been sewing now for an hour, but bear in mind, I've also been chatting to you. I've also been downstairs to start bath running. I've also spoken to Sam on the phone twice. I think I'm doing pretty well because I'm getting quite close to finishing this cardigan. So let's do this hemband and then I might go see my boys. Right, it's been exactly 1 hour since Sam left the house and I started on my can I sew my Blackwood cardigan in an hour challenge. And the answer is no, because I mean it's pretty much done. The only thing left to do is the neckband. So we've got a cardigan with cuffs, we've got our hemband, which is what I've just done, and I've pressed that so it's lovely and flat, it's not wavy anymore. The only thing left to do is the hemband. I'm really happy with the length of the cuffs now. They come just over my hand, which is great. And yeah, I'm really happy with the progress I've made. I didn't finish it in an hour. Perhaps if I hadn't been filming and I hadn't answered the phone a couple of times and I hadn't started a bath running for my husband, I reckon I would have finished it in an hour. So, did I achieve my challenge? No. To be honest, I wasn't entirely sure I would do. But I'm really pleased with my progress, and once Taylor goes to bed I'm going to come back up and finish this so I can wear it for work tomorrow. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching that. I hope you've enjoyed it. Have you made the Blackwood cardigan? If so, do let me know down below. If not, do you have a favourite cardigan pattern? Is there another cardigan that I should be trying? I'm interested in the new Sew Over It cardigan pattern. I can't remember the name, but that one looks quite good. I have made the Marlowe by True Bias. I do really like that. But if you have any other cardigan suggestions, I'd love to hear them because I do love a good cardigan. I've got the red cable knit fabric. I thought to make another Blackwood, but maybe if you have another suggestion, then I could try a different pattern, just so I'm not being boring and using the same one over and over again. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. and I'm going to go and hang out with my boys for a little bit. Well, after I drop a load of washing off at my friend's house who lives just down the road, because our washing machine has broken. We've got a new one coming in 2 days, but I've got loads of washing, so I'm going to go and do a load of washing at Tara's house. Thank you, Tara, if you're watching. Hi, Ziggy. So thank you so much for watching today. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't already. I'd love to have you here on my channel. I hope you're all really well, and I'll see you again in my next video. Happy sewing. Bye. And I want to swatch it. Just to save a bit of camera battery. Blah, 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 blah.